Hi traders, and welcome to the weekly market review. I'm your host Paul. I use something called wave analysis to look at the charts to determine where price could be headed. In this video, I'm going to look at the S&P, Nasdaq, and several stocks. So with that, let's get started. As usual, we're going to start with the upcoming economic calendar for the week. And this will be a very impactful week. So Monday and Tuesday will be quiet, but Wednesday, core inflation. So this is going to be, I think, really, really huge. Market seems to be getting a little jittery on when and if now the Fed is going to be cutting. So I think this print is going to say a lot because when we look at the charts, there's some things that are happening. So the expectation for this month, or for this reading for last month's inflation data, is that it actually goes down. So month over month, it goes down 1/10%, and year over year, we go from 3.8 down to 3.7. So obviously, if that happens, I can't imagine that the market doesn't boost up. So yeah, I think that one, that's going to be a huge reading. Now the regular inflation rate is actually expected to go 3.2 to 3.4. So if that plays out that way, I wonder how the market will react when you got core going down but regular going up 0.2. So who knows? But yeah, I'd expect some extreme volatility come Wednesday. And then also we've got FOMC minutes coming out on Wednesday. That always moves the market. People read into it. So I think Wednesday is just going to be really whipsawing around here. And then Thursday you got PPI. So another huge data point. But again, the forecast 0.6 down to 0.3. That's a substantial drop. So if that plays out, and inflation plays out the way you get those two going, we got the next wave going up. So huge data. And then on Friday you got consumer sentiment. 79.4 down to 79. That's not going to be much. And not unless this were to have a significant drop or something. I don't see the consumer sentiment playing a big factor in the market. All right, so with that, let's get on to the chart now. Going to start off with the S&P, and for the first time since, let me zoom out here. Oh, we got to go all the way back to last October. We've done something that we haven't done since then, and that is we've broken a previous low. So, this whole run up from October low, you had a real small correction right there, and then you went up and you never broke it. And then, here was some kind of correction, little correction, you went up, never broke that low. And here's a correction, never broke that. Let me get on it. Never broke that low. And then you never broke that low, and you never broke that low. You get the idea. We've just been staircasing up. Never broke the low. Well, this week we finally broke that previous 4 low. We made that new high last Thursday, or actually on Sunday night, gapped up, made that new high at 53.3, and then we broke it on Tuesday. So that's the first time we've broke a low. So the bears have put out a warning shot, or at least it's either a warning shot or it's the first shot of signaling something big is about to happen. So we don't know yet, because all that signifies is that this move, this 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's done. And so they broke that, and that's a big warning shot to break that 4, because now that signifies that that 5-wave move is done. And so far, for right now, I've put the 5, so the fifth of the fifth over here, signifying that we could be at a very much near-term high, because they broke that. Now, not until they break that level, 51, 57, we don't know that that this isn't just an A, B, C correction. And so this whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe that's the first wave of that 5th wave. So this will be 1, this was 2, and now we're going to go up, break the high for 3, get a 4, and then still go up again for a 5. So it still remains to be seen. So I'm going to take that invalidation point off, and now this becomes the new invalidation point. Given the strength of this sell-off, it feels like something is about to happen here. But then on Friday, we had this huge rebound. Now, we're right into a big sell zone. So this is going to be a battle here between bears and bulls. But like I said, we'll get all the answers that we need on Wednesday. I mean, maybe we'll get it beforehand. I mean, if the market obviously comes up and breaks that before Wednesday, then market's going a lot higher, because then this is 2, and then the market's going to blast off, and it's got to go up for a 3, 4, and a 5. So. But yeah, if the market just kind of hangs around here on Monday and Tuesday, it's a flip of a coin. And obviously then when the data comes out on Wednesday, one of these will break. I mean, this low, if they break that, then they'll break that invalidation point. So then this is the start of the correction. But obviously if the data is good, I mean, we're going above that for sure. So big week to tell us what is going on. Is the 5th of the 5th in, or is this 5-wave move just the beginning of the 5th wave? So just got to be prepared one way or the other. If you're already in the market, just start planning on hedging or taking profits or something. But yeah, the S&P has given us the first warning shot. Now, when we look at the Nasdaq, they came really close yesterday on breaking their 4 low. So we still don't know if this 5th wave is in on the Nasdaq. Now, I think for the Nasdaq, they just need to go, because we're looking for 3 waves for the 5th wave. And this is a 3-wave move. Now, I thought that they were just going to correct 1, 2, 3, and then still go up one more time to break the high, and then that would be the 5th wave. Now, I've got this labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 waves. So I see this as a leading diagonal. Now, I guess it could be a triple combination, so W, X, Y, X, Z, but that was super impulsive here. This doesn't look corrective. So that's why I got it labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they came right into this sell zone too. So it could be that it's getting rejected and this is going to come down. And now I think if the Nasdaq breaks 18,006, I think that's a definite near-term high, and there's a big correction that is underway. So 18,006 is a key level on the Nasdaq. I don't see any pattern. I don't see really any pattern that they can break that, and that this would just still be a correction for one more up. I mean, I guess it's possible, because I got this A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave. I mean, I guess that all of this all of this from the October low all the way up. I guess that could just be the A wave, and maybe that they're going to make a B and then still one more up for the C. That's it's possible. I'd have to watch how this comes down when they break 18.6 to see the wave count. So for now, I think the 5 could be in, but like I said, this could be could be a big head fake for me. It could be just a big WXYXZ, which means all of that was a W, and then all of this is the X wave, and now we're going up for the Y wave, and they'll go up in 3 waves. But just like the S&P, Wednesday Wednesday we should have the answer. One of these levels will be breaking either before then or on that day. All right, so that's the indexes. Those are the key levels to watch. And if you're not in, this is a tricky place to be trying to buy it or sell it. I'd wait for. Actually, I'd only be, if you're not in, I'd only be looking for the sell setup, because buying here, unless you're willing to hold it for many weeks, I don't think there's a ton of upside left. So yeah, tricky spot if you're trying to just day trade this. Even short-term swings are not going to be easy. All right, let's look at some of the stocks that we've been looking at. AMD also got really close to their invalidation point, signifying that the 5 waves are in. So far, all I see is just this little ABC down to here, and then they made just a little ABC up, and then they came back and down, and they broke it in 3 waves. So it's possible that this is the start of a diagonal. I don't even like that. I think, if anything, that this might just be all like 1. And then you might get a correction up for 2. And then if they're going to make a diagonal, then they'll resume down. But this could also be just like a WXY, very deep correction. And then they take off. So, I mean, that's the key level to watch, 161.80. Break of that, and this 5 wave move up for AMD is done, and now this is the start of a bigger correction. So, I mean, I guess this is actually a decent spot to take a flyer if you're bullish on AMD, because you can buy here, looking to target something above 227, but you just got to know that break of that, and you might want to start thinking about just getting out for a small loss. So actually, that's not a bad risk to reward area for AMD if you're bullish. You could also do like some type of covered call campaign if you're into options. All right. Let's look at Google. So Google, they finally broke that 3 high. And so now the only question, I'm going to go out to daily. The only question is the 5th wave done? And I kind of feel like it might not be. So what I've got here labeled as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. If we take a look, like if I just look at the length of time that it took to do 1, the first wave, that's quite a bit of time, and then corrected down for 2, and then look at how long it took to get to the 3rd wave, corrected down for 4, and then boom. Kind of doesn't look like the others. I mean, and it doesn't have to, but I'm almost thinking that this is just the first wave, and they're going to correct and then still go up 1 more. But just like the market overall, you know, and they did make this little three-wave correction already. So they could be target, but if you're not already in Google, like I can't imagine you'd want to be buying at 152 because when they go break 155 at any moment, that could be the fifth of the fifth wave of the C wave. But it's ending something major. Like you're going to get a much bigger correction here. So, you know, if you're already in, I think you got a little bit more up. But if you're not in, I wouldn't be looking at this one. I wouldn't short it, because you don't know. I mean, because it could go to, 160 or something, maybe even higher. But you just don't know how high they're going to go, and you don't know exactly where to take your profit at. It's something's going to be ending here pretty soon. So yeah, Google I kind of would be staying away from. Microsoft, let me zoom in on this. So that obviously we're in the fifth wave of this one too. Now this one to me looks like they've got one more up, because this to me looks like a diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, that's one. That was two. This is 1, 2, 3 for three. Now this A, B, C, I think that's four. So I think they've got to come up in three ways to break to create their fifth wave. So Microsoft, I do see them going up, but just like all the others, I mean, this is just not the place if you're interested in buying. I think this is just a horrible spot if you aren't already in. Even though I'm 90% positive that they've got to come up one more time to finish their fifth wave, but like I said, once they break 430 on this one, at any moment the sell-off could start. So yeah, if you're not already in, you're only playing for $5. You had to be at least coming in from like 418 if you were interested. I can't recommend wanting to buy that one. All right, Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia's just been going sideways since they made their high. And like I've been saying, it looks to me like this should be 1, 2, 3, and that should be the beginning of a diagonal, because this is coming up impulsively. Should be five ways. So I think that's one. And if they could come down in here, then that looks like two, and then they'll go up for 3, 4, and a 5. So Nvidia is really, like I said last week, confusing me, because everybody else, all the other stocks, the indexes, looking like the top is very imminent. But Nvidia looks like, I mean, first they got a drop, I think, but then I think that would only be two, and then they're going up for a 3, 4, and a 5, where I think the rest of the market is going to be starting to sell off. So Nvidia is kind of a confusing one. I got to be really careful with it. I don't. This is hard to tell exactly what they're. It's just been dropping and dropping and dropping. I think it's kind of making like some kind of like a leading diagonal. Am I correct? And then one more down into this box. I'd only be interested if they came down to, I don't know, somewhere around 800, somewhere in this range. That might be a chance to play for, like I said, for the 3 and a 4 and a 5. But buying here, I don't know. I think I'd rather wait. Even though it looks like it should be going up more, because I don't think that's the top yet. So Nvidia's kind of tricky. Gotta be careful with that one. And let's take a look at Tesla. I had someone ask me about this, and it's actually at a very interesting spot. And they did something kind of peculiar. So if we look at the 4-hour, and then we go out to a daily. So from the January 23 low, I just see an ABC up. And now this has really been starting to sell off. And to me, it looks like they're making a diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, this is 1. That was 2. And then they came down here, and this is getting a little hard to tell. Go down to a 4-hour. What they're doing here. I thought that this was just 1, 2, 3, and that was 3, and then they'd be coming up here for 4, and then going down for 5. But they did this when they do it Friday. Yeah, they created an absolute perfect double bottom. Don't see that very often on major stocks, but you know, this March low 160.51, and that's exactly where they finished, or they tapped it on Friday before bouncing up. So those are always hard to read, because it could be that this is the start of a diagonal, like 1, 2, 3. That was 1. This was 2. Maybe that's 3. That was 4, and that could be 5. So you got a leading diagonal, and then they're going to make a correction, and then one more down, and then that will be the third wave. So that's one possibility. Then the other possibility is that this is a 3-wave move for the third, and then this is just an ABC. That's an A, B, C, and then they will come up into this purple box. You know, so that's like A. This is B. Come up for the C wave, for the 4, and then roll over for the 5th wave. So that double bottom, that, like I always say, high chance that they're going to come and break that at some point. It's just a matter of what all this is. Is this like just a little leading diagonal? This is all part of the third wave, and they'll break it, this 160.51, to finish the third wave, or are they going to come up and give a 4? Now, there is the possibility of this pattern. Go out to a daily. You got to be uber bullish on Tesla, which is not a bad thing. That this was an ABC in, you know, in 22, just like the whole market selling off, and now Tesla is starting a leading diagonal going up, and so you got ABC. So this was 1, and instead of what I got labeled 1, 2, 3, that this is just like a W, X, and a Y, and that's the 2. So 1, 2, and now you're in the process of going all the way up for 3, and then you'll get a 4, and then you'll go back up for 5. There is that possibility. If this would have been the 3-wave move for 2, like to there, and then they were starting to go up, then I'd be like, yeah, that's 1, that's 2. Now they're going to go up for a 3 and a 4 and a 5. But there's been some really strong selling pressure on this, and this is starting to look, you know, pretty strong, pretty impulsive. So that's why I think that a diagonal is in play. Now, I don't know if they're going to come and break that low. Got to wait and see just how these next waves play out. But obviously, I mean, if you ever see price getting above 265, then this 3-wave move is done, and then for sure, I think this is going up in a diagonal. But you know, it actually is not a bad place to be buying Tesla, because, like I said, it's either one of two things. If you're bullish, 1, 2, 3, you know, that could be 1, and then somewhere around here is going to be 2, and then you're going all the way up for a 3, 4, and a 5. And if this is going to be selling off, I think that's 1 and 2, and either the 3 is in, or they might have a small correction up and then one more down for the 3, but you're going to be getting a 4 then at some point. So, you know, and it should get into, well, we got to wait and see where this 3 ends, if it if it's not done yet. But there'll be a bounce, even if they're going down for a fifth wave. You know, there'll be a 4. So buying here, not the worst place, because even if they drop it, it probably won't be a huge drop. I don't see them dropping to break the low. Just be a drop, but then they'll be coming up for the 4. So you should be able to easily, at minimum, get a break-even trade. If not, make just a little bit, and then you just have to be careful because they'll be making that 4 at some point. So yeah, Tesla is looking okay to take a flyer on, because it's either going to correct up for the 4 right now, or you know, even if it drops a little bit more, that 4 should be coming if it's making a diagonal. So Tesla looks okay. All right, that is what I see on the indexes and the stocks. Hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your likes and support, and I will see you in the next video.